Start your record.
Yeah, I will. You can just point anything you want. To find out if we're included in this or not.
I didn't sign early. Should we sign something?
No.
I don't even know if we're going to be in.
Can you check that? And the idea, you can come to see the picture.
Can see it.
Are we responding?
Yeah, you can. It's the same thing that the other pictures.
Alright, so we're
Oh,
having
we're
You can
gonna-
start the conversation.
Alright, so we're just having it on.
Yeah, you
on
can
the-
start the
Videotaping it
conversation.
now?
Alright,
It's a
alright,
picture
so
of a
let's
dog impaled on a Coke bottle.
Yeah, it's a self-portrait.
Alright, so let's have a conversation about the picture. As best we can here. So what's the first thing you think about, you know? To me it's this, I think it's not all that different from some other pictures where you think about the relationship of the thing, in this case the dog and the figure itself. And here we have the figure very much present and looming over the dog. And really the dog in this kind of position of repose and kind of indifference, and there's the tension to me in that picture, the difference between the tension between the standing over the thing, the dog itself, and then the way this dog seems kind of like in this position. So that's a little bit of an odd position that he's in, but it looks like, you know, it's indifference to this figure standing here. This is what I first kind of, I think, connect to, and then I guess we can't dismiss the, I guess, the position on the body. Who can say something about that? What's it feel like to look at somebody's back? Do you think of the back as you're looking at this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, look at the back with the green against the white background of the t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, why not a black t-shirt? Or why not a navy t-shirt? Like, was there a reason why that it's a white t-shirt? Was there a conscious decision about that?
Is it functioning just like a neutral wall, or can you not think of it that way?
Right.
Kind of
like,
acts as a print.
It's also interesting that even though he's facing this, you don't see his face. He's sitting now facing away. We don't see him. And then there's two cameras and we still don't see him.
I think then he chose to put the picture on the back of the shirt instead of the front.
Yes.
And the dog's eyes are closed. He's sleeping.
And his hair matches.
The dog's hair.
Is that on purpose?
Oh,
The
no.
dog has like a black snout too, and he's got a black beard.
The black beard on the dog.
Yeah, the black beard and the black muzzle of the dog.
I think maybe
Nice.
unconscious, but everything is a choice, I think, when you do
So the
a
dog
work.
represents the artist.
But
The artist
I
has a dog.
do feel this kind of presence of the camera, and like almost like this feeling of layers of like where this shadow comes from, and then looking this way, and looking past this to this. There's all this kind of like feeling of planes of looking from this plane to where this shadow is being cast from. That plane somewhere out here, and then him sitting right past it. I do think about that. I think that part of the experience of looking at this, and I do find myself looking back at the screen too, which is part of this.
Are both cameras recording?
I don't know.
Well, one definitely.
One definitely
I hope
is.
the I'm pretty
I
honest
hope
with it. They are.
Because you can see that
This is
this one is, but
recording.
how would you,
Yeah.
unless you look behind it, would you know that it's recording? It's on REC. So,
You know, I don't know here if you have this dog. It's a half dog, a half blood dog.
Have what?
A half blood. You know,
Oh, like a mutt.
he's
a
a mixed dog.
Yeah, mixed.
Yeah. And when I look at this picture, I really want to do this work, and because I was thinking about how important to me the classroom is. It is a place to show a work of art, not only galleries or museums or expositions. It is a place to show work. And I came here to the United States and I felt a little bit like a mixed dog. No. I understand that from my country, but I'm still try to understand who I am as a cultural individual, because I think he is so stronger, this idea of who you are and of what culture you're from. And when I choose this picture, this is a picture that I take it like 3 years ago. But when I saw this picture, this is a lot of representation of me. And I don't know, I felt it's the right picture to show just in this work.
So how about the other aspects of the experience?
I think it's strange you don't see people talking behind your back, but in the way it gives me confidence, and because I felt that I'm with me, only with me, in the way that I don't see anyone. I feel more safe. I think I create a safe zone for me, in a way, because I think that I believe in this picture. This is why I put the picture behind my back, because I think the picture is a way to show myself, and I think it's a little bit about what I'm trying to do with my work, because I was very I understand now that you cannot only just take pictures of people because you have a responsibility with this person. Because when you create an image, you know, you can bring in doubt this person. You know what I mean? The person, me, Louis, I'm not only one. I'm not one Louis. I have a lot of versions of myself.
So do you think that we only see one version of yourself in this class?
No, I don't know. I try to show a lot of versions of myself, but in this work, I think in my pictures, I try to show a little bit about myself, and you can discover your reaction with me can be a way to see me. You know, it makes sense.
I think part of what you've been describing all term is your own place within a place, your own position within a place, this country or New York City, and I think that's been a lot of the exploration. And now I can understand your explanation of how this dog fits into this sense of yourself. I'm not sure yet how to make a bigger connection between this experience I'm having of how I'm reading it, like I was saying before about the cameras, because I find it kind of intriguing that there's a mediation of my response and my way of looking at that shadow and what's beyond the shadow, which is you, I think it's somehow informed by this camera being here too, and the position of that space, and this space. So a few things happening at once. I think what you're talking about is understandable how you're identifying with the dog, but there's also something else happening here, which can you talk about, like this layers of reading, this experience that we all have, which is we're looking at the back of you, we're looking at a picture on your back, and then we're watching it being kind of put into another plane, two other planes behind you. What do you think that does to us as a viewer?
Oh, I think this is a little bit about what I'm trying to do with my photography, because I always looking for some mirrors and some ways to not only look at the thing, but I always try to change the image that I see with my eyes, with my camera, because I never find comfort in the fact. I never find comfort in photography. You know, I always try to look into some other things and create new ideas and images with my eye. This is respond to you?
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I think for me as a viewer, I'm a little bit, interestingly, forced away from the picture too. Because unlike a normal reading where I would try to embrace it and stare at it and stand in front of it, I don't feel like I would here. In fact, nobody has, right? We're all kind of off to the periphery, which is an interesting kind of reaction to looking at something from these distances and these raking angles too, as opposed to ever letting yourself kind of really look at it. Which is an interesting, I think, reaction to maybe it being on your body, but also I don't know if the body parts is stopping me, or just like the want to not to disrupt the angle of view from your cameras. I mean, maybe, did you think about that? Did you think that you'd be alone in this picture the whole time with just voices around you, or did you think you'd have all bodies in this picture?
No, in the end I really I don't care so much. I don't think this needs to be so polished. It's not the thing that of course, I try to be polished in the beginning, but I'm not a maniac to want to control everything. I like to, give it a chance so things happen. I think it's the way that I think, the way that I feel connecting with the things. I'm not a controller. Is a freak controller or a controller freak? A controller freak.
Control freak.
Yeah, and.
That's kind of arguable, because in some ways in this moment, I think we all feel very much,
Yeah,
some
like
nods
being
behind you.
controlled.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being controlled.
Yeah.
What's interesting is even though you're facing away, so you don't see us, we still feel surveilled. Like the camera's still, in even a more intense way, I almost feel more looked at this way than if you were to turn around and look at me. Even though we're not in the frame, it's just the
It's
fact
still
that
recording us.
and there's two of them. Like, why two? Is there a thought in why is there a phone and a camera?
Yes and no. In the beginning was a little bit from I have two records and I'm very jinx. And I was worried if things get okay. But when I came here, I really like to the picture and look to herself in like using the cell phone as a mirror to my back. And I think this vigilance thing, I don't know if it is a problem, maybe because I'm not American, and this is not an issue for me, of course, and not for everybody here. But the difficulty of the language, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if you can respond this in the way that I'm just doing, just experimenting,
Like using the photograph on your back to have like a performance art in some way?
Yeah, to make an action, to not feel comfort I don't want to be comfortable, and it only put the images in the wall, you know, because I have this ambitious, and I feel in the way that I want to do more and more, and this I think I don't know, in the end of the semester I felt that it was a good thing to do and a good thing to put myself to, because I'm showing myself in the way too. I never done this before, you know. I never record myself in the camera, and it's a new thing to do for me too, you know.
Is it about being vulnerable?
Oh,
Do you feel that way? Do you feel vulnerable right now?
No, because I feel that I'm with friends. I feel I'm with people that I trust. Because I know that I don't know everybody so much, but I felt like in the beginning of the term we talk about the sense of community, and I feel this way here. The people are kind with me, and I think I do this here is a little bit of I don't know, a homage of everything that we've done together. Maybe, I don't know. I felt a little bit, because I'm learned so much, and I'm so grateful to be here, you know. And it's very emotional for me.
Yeah, I mean, there is this position we're in, which is, in some ways, we're all behind him, we're all looking at him, and we all have this unique kind of power, I guess you could say, to exert over onto him. You know, I think everybody's taking this respectful position. We're not interfering with the camera. We're trying to figure out a way of contributing. We are all actually very much respecting his process he's trying to figure it out, even if we can't figure it out ourselves. So there's this interesting position as a group that we have here that Luis puts us in, which is like, he's handing it over to us, and he's saying, what are you going to do with it? You know, you're going to like participate, or you're not. And he's not going to look at us when we do it. And he's not going to tell us what to say. And he's giving us a starting spot as a parallel between some of his emotional, I think, state that he's in, of being in a foreign place and trying to adapt and learn and assimilate and all the other things that he's, I think, feeling. And it's an interesting position as a maker of something to say, you know, I'm going to let you kind of have that control over looking at me, you know? And he's not looking back at us, so it's not confrontational for him, right? He's not looking back at us and staring at us. He's like totally letting us, and he's giving us something to stare at, you know? The picture almost gives us an excuse or an ability to, I can stare at Luis's body in a way I never have before, you know, and I can look at his hair and the darkness at the back of his neck in a way that's a little bit more tan in the side of his neck and the shape of his body. When else would I have done that? And there's this strange kind of like offering he's doing in many ways to let us do that. And then he's inviting us to do that by putting this picture on it, which is an interesting, I think, gesture too.
It's also very much about being an artist, that you do put yourself out there with your work, and you many times don't have an opportunity to present or talk about your work. And people are there just talking about your work without you explaining it. And the fact that it's on his body and it's his work, it is kind of connected who he is with what he makes. And just that act of the trust and the vulnerability is what it means really to be an artist. You have to trust that you put your work out there, that you're reflected in it, and that it can exist in the world out there without you, but you're still in it. And you're also very vulnerable because you're not there to protect it in a way, or yourself. You're kind of alone in the process. You always are alone in the process as an artist. Even with a community, it's still a very solitary endeavor.
Yeah, I feel it's a very difficult job because it is a job that you show yourself, you know, you show your true colors in the way that you're very exposed, you know, what you think and what your desires, you know. I know that it's not the most hard job in the world, but it's difficult, you know. Because when somebody is against you, is against sometimes for who you are. If you put yourself in your work, you know, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but imagine if somebody attacked you by your work. I think my work is my life too, you know.
Do you plan on showing this video to anybody, or is it just for yourself?
I don't know. I'm gonna see in my home, but I want to do this register, and because what I want to put in the main point of the work, one of the main points of the work is show that the classroom is a place to show that you can do a work, you know. But maybe I can show in other place. But I want to, because I'm married with a professor, and I have a lot of friends who are professors too, and I feel always people want to say, oh, be an artist is something so amazing, but I felt be a teacher and stay in the classroom is the most amazing thing in the world, because it's a place that you must learn, sometimes more than in a museum, you know. And this is what a little bit about what I'm trying to do in here.
Also, the fact that you're recording it with the audio shows the other benefit of a classroom, that unlike a museum, the work is always accompanied with a dialogue at all times in the classroom. And there's something really beautiful about that. Whereas in a museum, you're supposed to be quiet and not disturb those people who are looking at the work, and it's really a very different experience.
Okay. Last thoughts, anyone?
Did you have any doubt that that would be the picture that you put on there, or were you?
No, it was my first choice. When I had this idea, I was with this picture in my head a long time ago, and because I really see myself in this picture, not because of course I am in the picture, but I don't know, I think I have a connection. One, because I remember that day, it was a really good day, and second, because I love this picture. This picture give me something to think, you know. This is why I bring that one.
Last week I didn't put my picture on the wall, I hung it from the light fixture. You remember?
Yeah.
So we don't always put them on the wall.
That's true. All right. Thank you. All right, so there'll be a part 2 to this in a few minutes too, after the critiques of these. He's got something else he wants to do. It's all right, so now we focus on the walls, all right?
Oh yeah.
All right, so this is our, sorry.
No. Okay. I was worried that I was not record. I was like, oh my god.
Want to do that again?